birds come in. Sounds like I see you in there. Hey, I'm on your turf again. This, that, yeah. You from the back of the. I got a girl, Brad. Yeah. She go to battle.
Standing, look in the mirror, how could you face that? Mask on, don't even know where my face at. Plenty don't even know where waist at. All these in the room, how could you waste that? Huh? Why would you chase that? It's a never-ending run on this racetrack. No matter what, I'ma stay black. It's a never-ending run on this racetrack. Need more jewelry, what I tell myself as I'm writing my eulogy.
Kamara Drive-In. Well, it's the coach. This is the 2018 season, and you've got it tuned to EA Sports. Coming up, 2017 Offensive Rookie of the Year, Alvin Kamara, fresh off a big performance a week ago. Coming up, we'll see the visiting New Orleans Saints taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
From the banks of the Ohio River, there's a look at Paul Brown Stadium here in Cincinnati, Ohio. The enthusiasm of this Cincinnati crowd in full effect a moment ago as their Bengals took the field to the delight of this sold-out crowd. And they're all set as they'll match up with the New Orleans Saints. The shadow's starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports. This is taken at his 4. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. And here come the Saints for their opening drive. They'll be led out by the first pick in the second round back in 2001, and that's the veteran Drew Brees.
And they are in rhythm on offense because of him. I mean, right now, he's got everything going the way he wants to, finding the receivers the way he wants to, looking over defenses. No interceptions is the number I lock in on. Before a touchdown pass isn't so bad either.
Yeah, what a game he had last week. Ready. Throwing on first down is Brees. Looking left side and completing it to Thomas. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. First down. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs. Alvin Kamara really settling into the league in his second season. And, of course, he came out of Tennessee, but not a lot of people remember he started at Alabama.
He did, and got caught in that big mix of running backs at Bama. And they like those bigger, thicker runners, those guys who can break down defenses through the middle. Alvin Kamara ended up leaving Alabama, going to a junior college for a while. I believe he went to Hutchinson Junior College before matriculating at Tennessee and finding his way to the NFL, where he is now a star.
Ready. We're waiting.
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. A great effort there. His 17th touchdown now on the season. And the Saints take it right down the field and score on the opening drive. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
So that drive, 4 plays. And the capper came from Alvin Kamara on the touchdown run. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here come the Bengals now to take over. They'll be led out by the former Texas Christian University Horned Frog, Andy Dalton.
And you've got to think that they've got to be feeling pretty fresh. You know, coming off of the open week, didn't have to play, right? Gives them a chance to rest up a little bit, heal some of those aches and pains, and excited about playing again. That really rekindles things a little bit. I want to see how they come out and establish themselves here early.
And that bye week coming right where they want it, in the middle of the schedule. 1st and 10 for Dalton. To the sideline. Wow, what a catch. Doesn't get a lot out of it, but he is able to keep the feet in bounds.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how
now he's hit, and Dalton lost the football. And this is picked up by the Saints, and they will take over at the 29-yard line. So a first quarter fumble in the rain, and this isn't supposed to let up. They've had flash flood warnings just west of here, so they better get used to this.
And it's hard to do real early in the game because you're so amped up and you're trying to do so much. You've got to get used to it, though. You've got to focus in on the ball, make sure you're taking care of it. That one cost them.
Now after the fumble recovery, it's Breeze. And Gronkowski's got it, complete over the middle. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. 23 yards on the play. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch.
And he's got him. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Antonio Brown, his 21st touchdown of the season. And the Saints add on to their lead.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good, and that'll make the score 14-0. Lutz now to kick this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here's Dalton and the Bengals now. 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Dalton here from the gun. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. P.J. Williams with a pick. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Make it back-to-back weeks now with a pick 6 for him. He had one a week ago.
Talk about being in the groove, and what are the odds of what we're seeing right here? You don't see it happen very often. Listen, if you get a pick 6 in a season, it's been a big year, let alone back-to-back weeks. I'll tell you this, I wouldn't play cards against this guy in the locker room.
Lutz will look to add the extra point. Lutz with the extra point, and it's now 21-0. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And out now, here come the Bengals. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
Second down, Dalton. It's a loss of 11 on the play. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Fakes the give to Bernard. Dalton. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
They're bringing a lot of pressure here already in the first quarter. Already sacked him once. Now they get in there and knock another one away. You think maybe that Tucker rule being gone makes defenses a lot bolder?
Yes, indeed. That time, lucky that the arm was going forward. Incomplete pass. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the Saints will have a short field in front of them. They take over here, 1st and 10. The offense and Alvin Kamara heading back onto the field. And you see his numbers from a week ago. He was up over 100 yards then, and he's already hit pay dirt here once in this one.
We always talk about quarterbacks and receivers getting into rhythm, right? Really feeling good, finding each other downfield. I think running backs operate the same way. They can hit a good rhythm and a good stride, and he's carrying it over from last week. I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
Ready? We're waiting.
On 2nd down, here's Breeze. Right side, that's complete to Gronkowski. A very solid gain of 27.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it. Sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
Ready? 21.
Breeze leaves this one with Kamara. Fights through, and he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. A great play there. His 2nd TD of the game and 18th of the year. And the Saints now add 6 to their lead. And a pair of rushing touchdowns now for him in the first quarter.
And I'm liking what I'm seeing from his big guys up front because they're winning the leverage game. How many times we talk about low man wins, right? Move the defensive front aside, create those gaps and holes. He's found his way through them for 2 touchdowns.
And after both of those touchdowns, he went right up to that O-line and hit each of them on the helmet. He recognizes
That's a smart man. You know what else he should do? If this continues, take them all to dinner.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here's Dalton and the Bengals now, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Play fake. Here's Dalton. Under pressure, and he'll go down. They'll sack him on what ought to be the final play of this first quarter. Aaron Donald. But they face a 2nd and long to start things out. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they won't fare much better here as he maybe gets back to the line. On the stop was Aaron Donald.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and shut them down.
And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. And they're able to convert on 3rd with a solid gain of 23.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball in the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
We just saw another example of how the defense is winning this game. Really, at the point of attack, the offensive line is just getting pushed around. I think now, as a play caller, you've got to give them a little bit of help. Maybe you keep your tight ends a little bit more. Maybe the running backs help you a little bit with the pass blocking. But you've got to help them get some confidence because you can't abandon the play calling right now.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. Give him 9 on the play, and it'll be 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
Breeze now on first down. Flush to his right. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A good pickup there, a 22.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
On first down, Breeze. Coleman has it here right side. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely. Great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? So after the big play, look at this. All the way down at the 15 now on 1st and 10. Into the red zone, it's Breeze. And incomplete, crisis averted, almost picked. Instead, second down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
And he comes back with one complete. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. A nice pickup of 14, and it moves the stick, sets up a 1st and goal. Two minutes to play here in the first half. We'll come back to Cincinnati after this. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Breeze going to throw. Got a man open. It's Thomas. It's a touchdown for New Orleans. Michael Thomas with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Saints are pouring it on. Lutz good on the extra point, and a rout is on here in this first half. Lutz now to kick this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
A gain of 39 that time.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
To throw here, Dalton. To the left side here for Eifert. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
Dalton throwing on 2nd down. And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line. Von Miller in there for the sack, and it's an important one from a personal standpoint, as that is sack number 100 in what has certainly been a terrific career to this point. Third and long. What will Dalton dial up? And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on third down.
Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. Now it's scooped up, and this is a live football. He's got a convoy, and he might be gone. Touchdown, and the New Orleans Saints put 6 up on the board. We talk about it a lot. One of the dangers of the long field goal, you got to kind of hit it low and drive it. That makes it susceptible to a block here. Not only do they block it, they return it.
And how about how well they did on the return, where they didn't create a penalty? Oftentimes in that type of a scrambling situation, someone will clip, someone will block below the waist, right? You name it. In this case, though, that didn't happen. They formed it up, and he took it all the way back for a touchdown.
This will be taken in at the 1. He'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. So first down throw coming for Dalton. Caught Eifert over the middle. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Dalton, 1st and 10. And a right side completion here by LaFell. Now before this second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout, as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. It's second down. Dalton looking. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync. Only way to play good defense.
And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. Dalton to his big target, Eifert, for the Cincinnati first.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy complete.
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
And Brandon, the passing game for both of these teams is going to be affected as the game goes along. It's not looking like the rain's going to let up anytime soon. So that might mean a few more wobbly passes and wide receiver slips. And this one winds up getting intercepted.
And he's going to be taken down here at about the 10. Geno Atkins, the Pro Bowler, in there on the stop. On second down, Kamara brings it just past the 15, able to avoid the initial contact, but not much more there on the play. We now proceed to the start of the second half. So we have reached halftime with the visiting Saints out on top. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Bengal offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution? Or did they think they were just bad plays to call? Yeah. We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. He was looking for his favorite target, A.J. Green, that time. And it's third down.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. And that is incomplete. Another drive comes and goes. Still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
Now Brown. Great blocking, nearly sprung in there. 28-yard return. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Breeze now on 1st down. Escaping the pressure right. Oh, now he'll try and chuck it deep. And he's got it. Touchdown, Saints. Antonio Brown. Touchdown number 22 on the season. And the Saints just continue to roll.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Lutz with the extra point, and that will extend this big lead. And we can break that scoring drive down pretty easily. One play, long touchdown pass into the end zone. Lutz now to kick this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. So here's Dalton and the Bengals now, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. He'll start on the ground here with Bernard. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
I saw Von Miller in college at Texas A&M, and all I kept hearing about was his speed off the edge to the quarterback. But what impressed me, his balance and his ability to take on blocks and be a force in the run game, as we just saw there.
He drops it off for Bernard. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
They look to throw on 3rd with Dalton. And he's taken down here by the Saints. Aaron Donald in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
And that's his 2nd sack of the game, but this player, disruptive in all phases, whether he's going upfield, coming underneath, you name it. He's a big-time guy you have to block.
A very nice job on the run back there. He'll get 23 yards all told. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10.
Hey, ready. We're waiting.
From midfield, here's Breeze. Eluding the pressure right. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue. And he's certainly been a huge factor in this when he's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the 1st.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him, double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
And this is caught inside the 5. Touchdown, New Orleans. 4 touchdown passes now for Drew Brees. And the Saints are pouring it on.
You have fun with this one, partner?
I am. I mean, he's been fun to watch under center.
We always talk about, getting to the next level, right? When we see people get into the zone, this guy's in the master class right now. What a performance he's putting on, just carving them up.
4 touchdown passes. Carving him up is right. Seems like everything he throws is going to be a completion and going in the end zone. Lutz now to kick this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field.
These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting. At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. He'll pick up another first down with that run.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Dalton gives to Bernard. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
Brandon, we're into the second half, and this offense has not scored a lot of points, and that was another example of why. I think it's time to open things up and start really trying to move the ball.
Dalton now to pass. Under heavy pressure, and down goes Dalton on the sack. Cameron Jordan in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Yeah, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of it. Great blocking on the return. It springs him for 25. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs.
Four down, check. Four down. Ready. We're waiting.
Throwing on first down is Breeze. Dancing to his left. Now he'll let it go on the run. Looking for Thomas. He's got him. Touchdown, New Orleans. Drew Brees turning back the clock. 5 touchdown passes for him on the afternoon. And the Saints just continue to roll.
And this is obviously quite a performance. And most of the time when we talk about someone putting a team on their back, I think we're talking about a guy who runs the football. In this case, it's a guy out wide catching it, and he's done exactly that, truly leading his team right now towards victory.
3 touchdown catches. He's been the headliner. Lutz now to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here's Dalton and the Bengals now. 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. A first carry for the second-year man, Joe Mixon. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Demario Davis there on the stop.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Back now in Cincinnati. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Dalton toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. John Ross, the one he was looking for. And it's 3rd down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
And Eifert has it. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A Bengal first down on a 16-yard pickup there.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Sheldon Rankins in there to record another sack. Their 6th of the afternoon.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
To the left side here for Eifert. That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. It'll be third down.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
Throwing on third and long. Dalton. And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
Out onto the field comes New Orleans. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I both enjoy. We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones. And it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it number 1.
And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. Davante Adams, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Saints are pouring it on. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. The head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. This will be taken in at the 1. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drive...
And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by the free safety, Eric Berry. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
Gets by him, and now a little daylight. And down inside the 35, he goes to the 32-yard line. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Shotgun now for Breeze. And he can't quite pick it. No interception so far. That probably should have been their first, but at least it's 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
This will be taken in at the 1. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And last time wasn't pretty. 1 play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that'll make it 2nd and 12. 2nd and 12 after the first down pass play went backwards for 2 yards. Here's Dalton. And Green with a catch left side. And a good stiff arm there before he's brought down on a nice little gain. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Third down, a shot here for Dalton. And this is going to be incomplete. Well, too much oomph, too much mustard there on that pass.
They really turned it loose, didn't they? Really cut loose with that one. Sharp, strong. Didn't lead to a completion, though. Made it very difficult.
With it is Brown. He juked him. Oh, and now he bowls him over. Excellent work on the run back there. 33 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And now the Saints get set to trot out there. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you.
And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield.
We got three. Three down. Hey, fellas, we got three. Let's go.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. This challenge was initiated by the guys in New York. Taking a look at the play, less than 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, I'm sure the coach wanted to challenge it, so he's probably going to send the new... And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown, New Orleans. A big play there. 51 yards. And the Saints just continue to roll. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that is leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Lutz now to kick this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The Bengals getting set to go. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it because...
You're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
And Dalton to throw. Underneath, this is Bernard. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and just like that, it's 3rd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
So a change of possession here on the punt. And control of the football, switching hands here with very little time remaining in this contest. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Everyone's got four down. Ready? We waiting? Hey, left. 48 left.
Breeze is looking to throw. And a scary incompletion, almost picked off. It would have been their first INT of the game. Instead, 2nd down. He's lucky to be getting that one back.
After what they've done with him all day long, with all the targets trying to go after him, he's obviously gotten smart, and his pride has kicked in. Made a terrific play.
Breeze again here on 2nd and 10. Over the middle, that's caught by Adams. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue. Charles, you get into these overtime situations, that's not a bad guy to dial into.
Well, when you have to have plays, especially in a spot as you just described, we're in OT, you've got to go to the guys you can trust and you know are going to make the plays. Well, they say it's not the X's and the O's, it's the Jimmys and the Joes.
Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout the entire game, and we got rain throughout the entire game. But these two teams, they had fun getting dirty out there. They love the slop.
Did you trust the forecast ahead of time? Are you one of those guys
I'm a little
skeptical about it, or did you trust it?
But when I saw just a big blob of green on the radar, I said, okay, let's trust.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad you took my advice. Got your notes laminated, because, you know, open